Hey everybody, B-rad here. Today we're going to be rebuilding the oil pump off of the AMC 304 that came out of my Jeep, but this will also work for the 360 and I believe the 401 also. I think they all have the same timing cover oil pump combo deal. So there's the oil pump there. You can see it does have some grooves in it, but they're not that deep, so we should be able to get those out pretty easy. There's the timing cover. Here is the new oil pump. This is what you get with the rebuild kit. Both of the gears, the plunger, and the new spring, and the gasket. There's the part number for it. I think I got this either from Advanced or Jegs, I don't remember. You're gonna need some plastic gauge or a straight edge, but I don't have a very good straight edge. Got a piece of glass and the valve grind compound. This glass is double strength, so it's pretty thick. It's at least an eighth. That's going to be our flat surface. I've got a 1/4 inch torque wrench. It needs to be inch pounds. Got feeler gauges if you did have a straight edge, which I don't. Those are the bolts that came out of the pump. You're going to need a ratchet to take the bolts back out. And I also have a 75 service manual for it. So that's where we're going to get all of our numbers and all that good stuff. So the first thing we're going to do is put some valve grinding compound on here and try to work all the marks out of here. Now you don't want to take off more than you need to. You pretty much just want to clean this up. Try to get these grooves out of here. Like I said, they're not very deep, so it shouldn't take very long. So we'll get that set up here in a second. Okay, so I already cleaned this all off as much as I could before we do this, to try to get as much of the old gasket off and all that good stuff, and clean. I shot some brake fluid through here so there wouldn't be any oil. So we'll put some, I guess I'll just dab some on here in various spots and then work it around. So we'll start with that and see how it goes. And I also cleaned the glass off to make sure there weren't any little bits of pieces on it. So it looks like I probably need some more. You just want to make sure you keep pressure downwards to keep everything flat. Okay, so you can see it is looking cleaner. It is taking most of the old gasket material off, so that's good. So I guess we'll just keep at it. Okay, I don't know if you'll be able to tell or not, but it's definitely got this groove almost all the way out here. Like I said, I don't know if you'll be able to see that or not. Yeah, you can kind of see it. But yeah, there's definitely still this groove here, which you can just barely feel with your fingernail. And then this one's almost gone. kind of hard to tell if you can see that. But so we'll put a little bit more on here and keep going. Still have a slight groove. Like I said, I don't know. There you can probably just barely see where it was. We'll go just a little bit more. Like I said, you don't really want to take off more than you need to. Okay, so that turned out pretty good. I'm not going to take any more off yet, just in case. You know, I don't want to go too far and have to get like a repair shim thing I think they make. And there you can kind of see. I didn't really have issues with oil pressure before, so I'm not going to get super crazy. But you definitely want to make sure you get all that compound cleaned out of all the grooves here before you go testing everything. So let me do that and I'll get back. Okay, so I got everything wiped clean, and you can see there's just a little bit of mark left right there, but you can't hardly even feel it with your fingernail. So I'm going to call that okay for now until we do some measurements and make sure. I don't want to take too much off. I might also, maybe not in the video, but it's also sometimes a good idea to take this nut out and pop the oil filter screw part on out and go ahead and grind this surface here flat. This does have a few nicks that do feel like they stand up, so I'll probably pop that out and work this flat also. I don't think I ever had any leaking there, but if you do, you can always do that. And then the other part here, the actual timing cover, you can also do this flat on your glass here, because this does have quite a bit of the old gasket material, which I tried scraping off with a razor, but you don't want to nick the aluminum. So I'm going to go ahead and run this on here also. Pull all the bolts out here first. Okay, so this part's kind of awkward since it's tall and weird, but oh, that's the, I forgot what that rattling was, but it's just the bracket to hold the distributor down. So it looks like we just about have all the old gasket off. I'm going to go just a little bit more though. Okay, I think we're there. Let me wipe it off with some brake clean and I'll get back. Okay, so here you're looking straight at the service manual. The first thing we're going to do is the gear to body clearance, which they show you a picture there, holding the feeler gauge with the gears installed. So you're pretty much measuring from the housing to the actual gear itself. So it looks like rotate the gears to check each tooth, correct clearance is what's that? 5 10,000ths, I believe, to 25 10,000ths. So that's really small. And let me get the page here. The 5 10,000ths is desired. So let me get back over here real quick. Okay, so the smallest feeler gauge I even have, if it'll zoom in on it, it probably won't. It's trying. There you go. A little bit. So that's 0015, which I believe is 15 10,000ths. That's under 1,000. Yeah, I think. I don't know. I'm not a mathematician. So they say to check each tooth. You kind of have to. This is so thin, so you can see there. It's in there. And it does have a little tension, so that's good. We're not out of spec. We're not completely to the desired spec, but you're just gonna go around and check each actual tooth to the housing. I'm trying to do it like in the same spot. So they all seem to be pretty close to the same tension, you could say. There are some grooves down in the actual housing itself. I know my fingers are kind of in the way. You can see they're down in there. And I've checked each tooth, and some of them are even kind of loose, like that one's a little loose. So let me flip it over, go to the other side now. That was the that first gear that I was checking is the one that's actually hooked on to the distributor. So now over here is the idler, I guess you could say, or the one being driven. Oh, get you back in the shot here. As tight as it can get, but we're in spec, so that's good. Like I said, with this actual housing and oil pump, I didn't really have any issues with any oil pressure problems. So now we're going to go ahead and let me bring you back over to the book. Okay, so now we're going to do this one here, the gear end clearance measurement. So like I said, you can either use a straight edge like they're showing in the picture, but I don't have a very good straight edge that I trust. So I'm going to be using the plastic gauge there. Pretty sure the red one will be the right one. Let's see. Yeah, because they're in inches. You have 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6,000ths. And you want your specs to be, let's see, where was it? 55 inch-pounds of torque. And then, where the heck's the... Oh, wrong picture. That's probably the problem. Okay, so you want to be 2 to 6,000ths clearance desired. And that's the biggest that the red plastic gauge will go. So we'll put the thing all together, put the gears in there with the gasket, tighten it down to what I say, 55 inch-pounds or 50, and we'll go from there. Okay, so we're gonna put this back together. I'm not gonna put the over pressurized spring in there. So I've already got the sprockets and gears, whatever, down in there, and we're going to try to line this up as good as we can. Then, oh yeah, put the plastic gauge in it. That'd probably be a good idea. Let me get a piece out here. So, okay. There's the gasket. It's not cut out very good, that's for sure. I might cut a little bit out right here. It kind of almost overlaps the actual housing. That's okay for now. So I've got the two pieces of plastic gauge. I'm gonna put one on each sprocket there, or sprocket gear, I keep saying. Okay, so got that on there. Gonna want to do this in one motion as best as you can to get everything in place without messing it up. So I'm going to go ahead and put, start all the bolts. These are, I believe, quarter 20 bolts, so they have a 7/16 head on them. I'm just getting them all started so I don't knock the filter housing out and mess up my plastic gauge readings. So this is the first time I'm doing this, so we'll be finding out the specs. You'll be finding the specs out at the same time I am, so hopefully all is good.
I'm just going to run these up so they're touching, trying to go in a crisscross type pattern. There's 7 bolts, I believe. Yep, 7. Just got one more here, and then we'll get the torque wrench out and see where we're at. Okay.
So I've already got the torque wrench set to the 55 inch-pounds. I don't know if I said inch-pounds or foot-pounds earlier, but it's inch-pounds. I'm going to tighten them, like I said, in a crisscross type pattern here to get everything even as possible. Okay, so I went ahead and tightened them all down. Now, that's why I have the ratchet here. We're just going to break them all loose, take them out, and then you're going to want to be pretty careful taking the housing back off. You don't want to disturb the plastic gauge, you know. Okay, so I went ahead and tightened them all down. Now, that's why I have the ratchet here. We're just going to break them all loose, take them out, and then you're going to want to be pretty careful taking the housing back off. You don't want to disturb the plastic gauge any. Okay, so we're just gonna pull straight up. Oh, I'm gonna take this last bolt out. Okay, now you're gonna want to pull straight up. Try to get zoomed in on that possibly. I think you can see the plastic gauge there on the teeth. So let me try to zoom in for you. Whoop. It's kind of hard doing this backwards. Okay, so I think you can see the one. We'll check this one here first. Make sure you're on the inch side. So it appears we're at the 4 thousandths. And we'll check the one over here too. I think you can see that. Or pretty dang close. And this one might even perhaps be a hair bigger clearance here. Let's check. Yeah, this one's probably more about 5 thousandths. It's in between the 4 and 6. And like I said, our spec was 2 to 6 thousandths, and the 6 thousandths is desired. So I'd say that clearance is pretty good. You can kind of see the shininess on here where it did flatten it out. I think we'll be okay. So that there is how you check your oil pump clearance and rebuild the pump and everything. And the directions that come, well, there aren't really directions per se. It's just a piece of paper, if you'll be able to read it or not. It says to submerge the oil pump in clear oil and revolve by hand before installing in the engine, which I'll do that, or everything I've seen online. And from what I've heard before, just fill the opening, and pack all that area full of petroleum jelly. This area here. That way, when you're first starting the motor up, it'll prime it. But that's about it. Thanks for watching. If you're new to the channel, subscribe. I've got my other videos going on the actual rebuild of the whole motor. I don't have the motor back yet, but it ought to be getting pretty close. So thanks for watching. Hit the like button, subscribe. Thanks. Bye.